Well, hello there, YouTube. And let me apologize in advance for any potential video quality issues that we have today. In particular, exposure switching. This is the Hero 4 Black Edition. So you're probably wondering, well, where's your trusty old Hero 3 Plus Black Edition? Well, I sadly have to report the 3 Plus Black is dead. It can still record video, but she's no longer going to record audio. You know how I tell you guys how I dislike micro USB as opposed to mini USB? Because they're famous for breaking the little contact board in the center of the contact, you know, on your I don't think that bird made it on the device. Well, I think all the GoPro microphone adapter use, because I went through about 3 or 4 of those things. I don't even remember now. I know I spent way more on GoPro adapters than I've spent on any other adapter combined. But anyway, I think that thing took too many hits. I noticed I rode Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday of last week. And I noticed on Tuesday, on my way home, I was riding this on Tuesday. On the way home, I lost what I thought was a really good vlog. I was, you know, one of those where you get, man, I'm telling you, this time of year, the smell coming off of that mill should be patented, I'm telling you. But it's a nature's thing, so how do you patent that, right? But anyway, oh, look at the leaves on the ground. Yeah, baby, I love it. Tuesday, because I vlog for about an hour going to work every day. I just do. But anyway, when I get to work, because the Hero 3 Plus, the battery lasts for about anywhere from an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. I've never paid attention to why it does one way and the other way. And this is always with the Wi-Fi turned on. I can easily get an hour and a half out of the 3 Plus, like when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, things come up too quick, and it's just a hassle to have the remote and take it off every time you stop somewhere. You don't know, somebody's going to steal the remote. So, you know, when I'm traveling, you'll notice that the remote is seldomly there, unless I'm with all the other guys, you know, at a meetup type of thing. But anyway, because I vlog so long, instead of changing the battery, I've got a little charger station there where my helmet sits, and I plug the GoPro in, so that by the end of the day, she's all charged up and ready for flight. Well, I noticed Tuesday, whoa, got a little VSS intervention. It didn't like what I did there. Kind of woed me up and almost threw me forward. It didn't like I know the GoPro does not show. You ought to be on the back of this thing when I'm going through that. You can see the speeds aren't very fast, but that's a very tight rolling road. And I know the GoPro, because I watched the footage, and I'm going, that does not relay to the public what I'm doing and what the bike is doing, and the G-forces and the turns and the drops and the bumps and everything else. But anyway, the Spider feels it, and you'll see intervention kicking every once in a while. If you notice, whenever I say that, if you scroll back on the video just in, right before I mentioned that it woed up, you'll see an orange light flashing right there. And it's just it flashes just like your cars and stuff do. It'll flash right quick while it's in intervention mode, but you have to look quick. You'll see it go bloop, 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 bloop. It's right here, right towards the center, between like the 3500 mark, and usually at the speed when it kicks on, it'll be behind the RPMs. The needle, I'm usually at about 3500 RPMs when I'm in those little maneuvers, so you'll have to look right under the needle. You'll see it flash. Anyway, any of those times when I mention intervention, you'll see that flash. You might have to back it up a little bit and watch. And I was talking about my 3 Plus. Forgot where I was at on that thing. But oh yeah, anyway, I had a great vlog on Tuesday coming home from work. I took my normal thing running along the Cowlitz River there. I'm afraid I bore you guys too much with taking that same route. But as it gets later in the year, you know, 2 things: when it's extremely hot, I just want to get home. And then in the wintertime, my time is limited before I lose the light. And so I just need to, you know, I need to bust that vlog out before I lose the light. So that's, for me, that's a fairly quick and easy route to take. And I absolutely love it. And I hope you guys do as well. But I hope I'm not just boring you by taking the same road all the time. At any rate, I had a nice vlog, and I felt it was one of those I felt good about. I thought, oh, they'll enjoy this. And I get home, not when I get home, but as I'm signing off on my, excuse me, on my way home, I look and I see the remote is doing the, you know, the panning, like it's searching for a camera. And I go, dadgummit, that thing lost its connection. You know, it'll do that every once in a while. With like around truck stops and stuff like that, I think there's just so much radio stuff moving around that somehow or another it interrupts and it just turns the remote off. You know, I know I'm not out of battery. I know I'm not out of memory. So I just turn the remote off and I reach up and I go to manually shut the, you know, stop the recording and then power it down. Well, it doesn't make the, you know, the stop recorded, that beep beep when it stops recording. And so I look around, look in the mirror, camera is not on. And I'm going, what in the hell? Somehow or another I lost battery. That's crazy. And I'm trying to think, I said, oh no, I definitely had it on the charger. So I get home and I started the vlog at exit 52 coming off the freeway and took the whole loop around. So it was probably, you know, 18 to 20 minute vlog. And I get home, upload the footage from that day, that vlog that I was very happy and excited. And I was like, good, I finally got a good one. I'm having this kind of a writer's block type of thing going on where I can't come up with good shit to talk about. But anyway, it lasted 47 seconds. And for whatever reason, I never heard the camera boot down. I usually hear it, but somehow I didn't hear it. And then, you know, it makes me mad because that thing flashes red when it's recording. Well, as soon as it, you know, either has some kind of a weird wireless disconnect or the camera stops recording, that thing stops flashing. That's one of the things I love about it. But, you know, my thing of looking ahead and not paying attention to the dash and speed and whatever else, that goes along with the flashing light. You know, that's a distraction to look down to me. But usually I catch it in my periphery, whatever. I just didn't notice that the thing booted down. So I get home, you know, I'm all upset I lost that footage, and I still have no idea what happened. And I just chucked the thing off, you know. And then I was thinking on the way back to work, thinking about the next day, thinking, you know, why did that thing not charge, you know? And the problem with the Hero 3 Plus and the GoPro blackout case is you can't see the red light when it's charging. You have to like cup it so that it's total darkness, and you'll see a little red hue kind of coming out of a corner because the case is all black. You don't see it. So anyway, I get to work the next day and do the same thing. I put my helmet down and have my little charging station sitting there, and I hook the GoPro up to it, and then I like cup my hands around there, you know, the light in the shop, as such, I ended up having to take one of my coats and throw it over me like one of those old photographers, you know. And I'm looking, there's no red glow coming from it. So wiggle the connection, it comes on. I go, okay, cool. So I think she's on. Well, this was on Thursday. That's the day I rode. That's my last video at the moment, is when I test rode the 09 Dyna Super Glide. So I test ride that thing, and I come back, and I know the battery's strong enough to last the rest of the day, but you know, like a goof, I see where the battery's at and I hook it back up. Well, before I shut the camera off, because I didn't have a remote, before I boot it down, I look at the battery, and I've got 1 bar of battery. But I leave my Wi-Fi on all the time during the day too, like an idiot, but it's on a charging thing. Why am I taking my helmet off? What an idiot. I'm just getting gas and running here. But I look, and I've got like 1 bar of battery. It never charged. I seen the light come on, and when I set the helmet back down, it turned back off again. So I'm thinking, God, that's really weird. I'm thinking, well, you know, I've gone through GoPro remotes, and it's always that connector that goes bad. So I'm thinking, damn, it's a power commander cable that I'm using, because it's nice and long. And I have my charger brick plugged into the to one of my fans, and then the extension cord's long enough that it rolls out and goes to my helmet. Well, I thought the cord's bad, so I thought, wow, that's a bummer. On the way home on Thursday, I rode a street glide that day, did the vlog going to work perfectly fine. Everything's fine on the way home until are we catching? Everything's fine until I chase down a train and pull over, and I watch the train go by. I just barely catch this thing. And then when I'm pulling back out of this little side chute where I had pulled over to watch the train, my helmet got hung in it was either my coat or my backpack crossover strap. And so I reach up and I make sure everything, you know, the camera's kind of facing straight and my mic is still plugged in, everything's cool. The rest of the way home, there's no mic. Dang it, it goes into that mode like you know how there's a lot of those bad 90-degree adapters, and they don't have the resistor in there to tell the GoPro that a mic is plugged into it. Well, it went into that mode. So I thought, oh no, my mic adapter died. So I go to take off yesterday. I don't ride on Friday, so I go to take off yesterday from it poured rain Saturday, windstorms. I was going to go for a ride, but the rain came so hard, I thought, not going to do it. I was going to take the Venture out in the rain, but that was like typhoon rain. I wasn't going out in that. I go for, you know, the camera's plugged in, and like I say, it's in the blackout case. I can't see. Is that amazing how incredibly fast the fingerprint scanner is? You click the home button to wake it up, and when you let go, it's already read your fingerprint. This 6S Plus is just incredible. It is so insanely fast. I just absolutely love it to death. So I go out, and I went to Chehalis, just doing one of my Walmart runs, you know. I get there, and the battery has got 1 sliver left. I'm going, come on now what's going on? So I swap the battery out and do my ride home. And I get home and I plug the camera in to upload the video, and it's being real buggy. I'm having to wiggle the switch, and it's like disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting, connecting. But it uploaded all my videos, and I go to pick the camera up to turn it off format the card and then I was going to plug it back in. Well, it's disconnecting, reconnecting, disconnecting. I said, something is wrong. That's when I discover it's dead. And that's when I discover most of the footage to Chehalis is just the GoPro's mic. Well, that's a very muffled sound, and I was on the iron, and it's not exactly quiet. So all the audio, or most of the audio on my 4th or 5th iron Sunday is junk. And with some investigating last night, I discovered the Hero 3 Plus is dead. That really, really sucks. My favorite camera. Well, this, I know you guys, if you pay attention to my videos, I bought another Hero another Hero 3 Plus as a backup, black, in the case, all sealed. Hey, it's my kid's old car. I knew some kid around Toledo here bought that thing. Good Lord, I went back and forth to work when he was living at home quite a few times in that little automobile. I never did know who bought it. I guess there's your answer, that kid right there. If he's even still the guy that bought it for my kid. My kid, like I say, is like Fred G. Sanford. That guy wheels and deals and sells more crap I can't keep track. Shows up in a new car or truck every week, it seems like. But sadly, the 3 Plus is not usable. It's hard enough to get the thing to charge up. You got to hold it just right. In fact, I don't even trust that. You know, I just pull the battery out and use the Wasabi charging brick to charge it. Well, that's what I will be doing. So she'll work good as a secondary camera. But what I was going to say about my spare one, I got suckered into selling that thing. God, what an idiot. And Kelly even told me, she goes, why are you doing that? What if something happens? I said, this thing's a brick. I said, they'll probably come out with a Hero 5 or something by the time this thing dies. So one thing I got my fingers crossed for, and there's nothing in the description to say otherwise, but it's been, so I have no idea when this happened, when the update came about, but the Hero 4 just updated to OS 3.0. Took a big jump, and there's like a whole list of things, but none of them are pertaining to exposure issues. But you know, it's just like iOS and everybody else. They have a big system update, and they pretty much highlight what's changed. There's always things in the background that changed as well that they're not telling you about. So I'm hoping somewhere hidden in this update was something that deals with the exposure switching of this thing. But I'm telling you, just the camera sitting there while it's doing the update, installing it. I even walked out there, out in the living room, and handed the camera to Kelly. I said, I want you to feel how hot this thing gets. And it actually, I thought she was going to drop it. It actually, it's not that hot that it'll burn you. But it's hot enough, you know, if somebody with sensitive hands like Kelly, she couldn't squeeze it and hold it. You know, she can't hold it. It's that hot. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I deal with hot things all the time at work. But, you know, motorcycles. But, it shouldn't get that hot. Absolutely should not get that hot. But in all fairness, one of the guys wanted to use my Hero 4 session to do a prank on a guy, and I was trying to hook it up to, I haven't hooked up any of my GoPros to my my Note 5, and I go, well, here, let me put, you know, turn the lights off and turn the beeper off, and we'll pair it with this remote. And I didn't have this remote. I had one of my old remotes. I left this on the charger. It was Thursday when I caged it. and there's a damn update, and geez, it seemed like the update took forever for some reason. Of course, I had to pair the thing with my iPhone, because that encrypted backup, it brings everything over, but you got to put the passwords in. So I got to find my password that I use for the the connection with the iPhone. It's there. I mean, it brought it over, but it doesn't save that password for whatever reason. That's weird. All the other Wi-Fi passwords were saved, but the GoPro wasn't. Something about that backup didn't work. Anyway, our building is all, the roof is, I don't know what it is about the building, but it's like a freaking Faraday cage. You barely get cell reception back there in the service department. If you walk up towards the front of the store, even halfway across the showroom towards the front, you get, all 5 bars of, 4G LTE. So something back in the service department, I have no idea. But anyway, so it had to use like 1 or 2 bars of 4. It wasn't even saying LTE, it was just saying 4G. So it took forever to update. So the little Hero 4 Session is sitting there on. It got quite hot too. I mean, really got hot. So maybe this is normal, but it just breaks my heart. My 3 Plus is dead. So now I'm forced with dealing with this godforsaken Hero 4, and I've said in many vlogs, most of which I probably haven't posted, I've got to get a hold of GoPro before my time runs out and deal with this camera. This camera is junk. She's a dead unit. Pisses me off. It really pisses me off. I mean, it's a $500 camera and I haven't been able to use it. The other thing that kind of chaps my ass too is I really do like the Hero 4 Session. I love its form factor, and it's just such a convenient camera. But you have to shoot in Pro Tune to even get the slightest amount of quality out of it. You don't shoot that thing in Pro Tune, it's junk. I mean, it looks like a cheap Android phone's video. It's just not good. It's very fuzzy and noisy, and I mean, it looks like you're shooting through a 2 megapixel sensor or something. It's just, I mean, fundamentally not good. Oh, look at the helicopter on the trailer. And I need to let you guys go. I've made this kind of long. Yeah, buddy, check that out. That's an old bell, isn't it? So, that's it. I will conclude this rather long ride to work down the freeway. We got your little back road action in there in the beginning. So, I appreciate you guys watching. And I will talk to you, I'm sure, at some point on the way home. So,